This is awesome.
Yeah.
It's been purging, so they give it to my house. That's what we do.
Where's this? Where would you find this at, Joe?
Susan found it in the utility closet.
That is great.
But that was the other trophy.
Worked really hard for that too, by the way. And my very first trophy I got from Dave Potter. If you know Dave Potter.
Yeah.
Dave Potter coached me when I was in grade school at we're not on camera yet, are we? Eggleston. And it's in my trophy case at home. It's my very first trophy. It was a basketball trophy. And it just says Bobby on it.
That's it.
It just says Bobby. It's really cute. Thank you very much. This is a prize, man.
I looked, Susan said, well, what's this from? And I looked at the dates. I said, I know exactly what that is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's because of the dates on it. Our kids were much, much younger.
Yeah, I was probably 13 there, 14 maybe at the most. Good coaching. See? Look at the impact you had.
Yeah.
You ran the triangle offense, right? You probably got it all.
Oh man, I was a good basketball player back in the day, and I played baseball too. Until I broke my arm. That ended my baseball career.
Cross country then.
Then I went to cross country track, and it was all over after that. All right, Tony.
Hey.
Big day for Tony.
It's just
Big day for Madison, fellas.
big day for
Big
Madison.
day for Madison. Big day for Madison.
Is this a February meeting? It is, isn't it?
Yes.
This will be the last meeting I don't have to do it all for. So it's good news.
That's good.
Yeah, make that announcement while we're here.
Yeah,
have
we
a
will.
New associate arriving
We will.
in a couple weeks.
Awesome.
So we're to start anytime you are.
Okay, so we'll call to order the Redevelopment Commission meeting of February. First order of business is the approval of minutes from our January 3rd meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review those before the meeting? Yes. Any questions or changes? If none, can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? So moved.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Secretary, there's a couple up there that didn't get signed from previous meetings. You can just make sure that they get, if you have signed those, I think there was, okay, thank you.
Perfect. Next order of business
Thank
on the agenda is claims approval. The first one is for regular claims. It's a total of $608,152.36. There's several claims on here, largest being bond repayments. And I think everybody's had a chance to review. They were passed around before the meeting started. Can I get a motion to approve and pay?
I'll make that motion. Second.
Second, all in favor? So moved. Second claims approval is for Sunrise Crossing Bond Distribution Number 8 in the amount of $89,088.40. That's tough to get out. Can I get a motion to approve and pay this?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Approved. Old business, Mr. Steinhardt.
Yeah, the financial update is in your packet, and I think as we stated before, the RDC has ended the year in a strong position. This is a really critical year for us, as what a lot of our projects are in the middle of construction or will be starting construction. The one good thing that I'll mention is later tonight, the City Council will be announcing a funding strategy for Crystal Beach, and we're not believing that there'll be any additional dollars needed from the Redevelopment Commission, so that's a really good news. You'll note that many of those projects that we've started, Oak Hill and others, are winding themselves down here and will be done this spring. If you have any additional questions, we certainly can bring those to Reedy Financial, who's not here today.
Any other questions or comments in the financial packet? No, thank you.
Welcome. Sunrise Crossing, I'll give you a quick update. As you know, last fall, we bid that project for the city's commitment twice for the road improvements and the traffic light, receiving no bids. You all declared an emergency situation. We have been working with 3 groups to try to bring a project that works within a range of dollars that we have available, as well as meet the requirements of our EDA with the developers. I'm happy to say that we have gotten to a point where we believe we have all the projects in a place through value engineering and other methods that gets us to a place that does meet all the requirements set forth in the EDA with the developer. However, much like many of the situations we're in, both in business and in government, the pricing is still continuing to be extremely high based upon the estimates that were now basically a year old. So we are looking again to finalize these projects. I'm going to be asking today for an additional, an additional amount of dollars to help fund the rest of those projects from current revenue. The good news is, according to Reedy and working through cash flow projections, we have those dollars available this year and can add that to complete our obligations for the Sunrise Crossing project. So at this time, I recommend that the RDC authorize the mayor to sign a contract with Saddam Contracting for the Michigan Road project not to exceed $600,000, and for ETC Inc. At a contract not to exceed $300,000 for the traffic light. Both those projects right now are currently in the final stages of value engineering, but will not be in excess of those two amounts, and both are in the process of needing to get started in the next 30 days.
Any questions for Mr. Steinhardt on the discussion? So can we get a motion to, I don't know if we need a motion number on this one? No?
That's
Okay.
not a, yeah.
So a motion to approve the mayor entering into contracts for the two amounts as Mr. Steinhardt stated.
I'll make that motion.
Get a second?
I will second.
All in favor? So moved.
Okay, thank you. The third contract that was not in your packet that I just received yet this afternoon was from JTL, our engineering consultant. Now that we have understanding the scope of services associated with the sewer line, the schedule, the traffic light install on the roadway, they have come back to a work order not to exceed $50,000 for inspection services associated with the three projects. It was hard for them to quantify the amount of inspection time until we had all the projects developed and schedules that aligned so that we could be cost effective in their time here to oversee that work and inspect it. So I would ask also for a motion that would allow the mayor to enter into a contract with JTL for not to exceed $50,000 for inspection services.
Any questions? If not, can I get a motion to approve?
I will make that motion. I'll second that.
All in favor? All in favor, so moved.
And the final piece that I've mentioned is that now that we have all the numbers, we believe that the project cost for the overall Michigan Road Sunrise Crossing project will be in the neighborhood of $4,707,000. That's about a 15% increase over the original estimates, given today's environment, a number of supply chain issues, number of the sewer pumps. The sewer project actually was our real issue. Electronics, the controls, the lift station, that was the real issue. We're at about a 15% increase in budgets in all the projects. We feel pretty good about that given our current bidding environment where we are. So I would be asking the Redevelopment Commission to appropriate $457,000 for the cost overruns for the Sunrise Crossing EDA commitments.
So we clarify for the commission where those sources come from out of our financial projections?
Happy to do that.
Please.
So, given the fact that we have an additional funding source for Crystal Beach, we had programmed in the 2023 budget, $500,000 in our budget to support Crystal Beach as a funding source that could be leveraged in capital stacked with a number of other sources. Tonight at City Council, it'll be announced that funding source through your commission will not be needed. And so I would ask that we would then take those $500,000 or $457,000 of the dollars that were budgeted for Crystal Beach and divert those to the Sunrise Crossing development
For the increase.
for the
The
increase.
estimated
For the
increase.
estimated increase.
Are those already firm?
Those are firm. So
Okay.
the numbers are firm based upon the not to exceed numbers that you approved today.
Okay.
And we do have some additional contingency built in the final overall budget for unforeseen conditions. Currently, the only thing that we would, again, you never know, but the only thing that we know that we may run into is some rock. And there is some potential for that. And we've carried some contingency in the new budget for that.
Is everything already been bid out and
Everything's bid out. With the final three numbers here, we have bid everything out.
okay.
It's been quite the project to manage. There's a lot of moving parts to it because we are literally rebuilding or building infrastructure for 22 acres of development that's gonna now see thousands of individual traffic there, in the span of a really short period of time, with, the retail and, the housing coming in behind that, the stormwater, the lift station, the intersection, the light, the boulevard. It's a very complex, development initiative, and so Tony's done an excellent job managing it, and then, we're working through, you've seen a lot of construction up there already. It has been difficult to get interest in some elements of it, and Tony's continued to push that, and with partnerships, like with ETC and JTL and Sedam, they've really come through because they care about, Madison, and they want Madison to be successful, and so they're doing some things that, like ETC generally isn't in that space. But good project management are those relationships of bringing that to fruition, and then as that progresses, you'll see us move into another phase, and that's the housing development side of things, but that's several months away, but that'll be here before you know it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so, overall, we've had about, 600 and some $1,000 overage on a project that was 4.1 million, given the kind of environment we've had and the lack of interest, quite honestly, because the projects were small and messy. One stoplight, I would let you know that we reached out to NDOT a couple of times to have asked for their advice and counsel on how to get interest. There's just a handful of traffic light contractors in the state of Indiana, and NDOT even has trouble getting them to bid their
And they're
projects.
experiencing, a tremendous amount of price pressure too on every construction project.
The good news for us too, there's two other projects that we're having to bid, and I'll update you on those now so you can get a full picture. We have the two projects that'll be out to bid and back to you here at the March meeting. That will be the Franks Drive intersection project that's in support of the Culvers, and the Habitat for Humanity project, which I think the commission has had in their plan for multiple years, 3 or 4. Those two projects will bid here during the month of February, and we'll be back to the commission. We hope those are favorable into the amount of the budgets that have been prescribed. So with that, I would ask for a motion to reallocate $457,000 to the Sunrise Crossing project.
Can I get if there's no questions, can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? All right, so moved.
Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
Any questions over there, sir? Kevin, anything? Okay, thank you.
So I did go in and gave you a quick update on Franks Drive. The good news is there too, we had a property acquisition which you approved that has been accepted. So we're in the process of working on a closing date for the property acquisition. We have to buy there to widen the intersection. That should happen in the next 30 to 60 days. We have 90 days to close, so the property owner did accept our offer. So that's good news. And then, as I said, both the Franks Drive and Habitat projects will bid here in the month of February. We hope to come back to you in March for contracts for two low bidders there. If you have any other questions on those projects, I'm happy to answer them. If you have any questions on Sunrise or anything that's currently ongoing, I'm happy to give you some specific updates.
No questions?
We are, relative to Sunrise, I'll mention that we are really giving strong consideration as to what we're gonna name the street. It's a unique opportunity to be in a position to name a park, name a street, name a pool, you name it. But we were giving that some strong consideration. If any of you have any thoughts or considerations on what that boulevard should be named, please pass those along to us, because we could take the easy route and just name it Cedarwood, but it's going to be unique. And again, what we're trying to build there is destination and the feel, things that can be celebrated at various different times of the year, like downtown Madison. And that's why there's so much focus and investment being placed on what that site looks like and the contribution that it makes to the hilltop. So if you have any considerations, please let us know.
Great. Next order up for business, if there's no other new business.
None
city
that I have at
matters.
this time.
Mr. Mayor, any more updates on city matters?
Yeah, just a couple of things. We've been updating you for what feels like a couple of years now on Ready, which is Governor Holcomb's program that was launched a year and a half or so ago, going on 2 years ago now. Ready 2.0 is making its way through legislation. Governor Holcomb has proposed another $500 million to be dedicated toward that regional economic development initiative. It's produced very strong results statewide. City of Madison, because of its planning, I think is setting an example in southern Indiana with regards to our approaches toward economic development and place-making and community capacity building. We were the only community, maybe statewide, that submitted a plan, a destination plan, rather than a project request. And within our plan was multiple projects that added to quality of life and enhanced tourism and placemaking and economic development. And it was very well leveraged to generate literally millions of dollars of new investment, and it's working. You'll see any corner of Madison, lots of things happening, whether it be neighborhood revitalization, parks, infrastructure, shopping, retail, housing. There's a lot of moving parts to this, but it's because we've had a real thoughtful plan. Well, one of the things we're working on now is Ready 1.5, right?
Yeah.
And that is there were some projects that had been preliminarily awarded Ready grant funds in our region that, for one reason or another, are not able to move forward. And there are very strict deadlines that the state has with regards to when those funds get committed, because there's requirements with regard to the source of funding the state is using. It's federally funded. And so there's another call for projects. And what we're doing now is reevaluating those projects that were within the Destination Madison plan that didn't get funded because of a lack of funding. Remember, the Southern Indiana RDA applied for about $80 to $90 million worth of funding, and it received one of the largest awards in the state at $50 million, which basically meant that 30 to 40% of everybody's request got cut. We were able to shift our strategies and do a portion of our Destination Madison plan, whereas those who were counting on 100% of those dollars to do a project now find themselves searching for other forms of gap financing that didn't materialize. So now there is another call for projects, and we are looking at our original Destination Madison plan and submitting, I believe the deadline is February the 17th.
February the 17th, and the RDA has set some criteria. They're considering applications that are in conjunction with existing projects and existing communities that have won work. So tangentially, we have to be associated with a current project. We're looking at a couple areas in town that will make some connections. One of which will be the arts and cultural district and the neighborhood market Mulberry and Second Street as a part of some enhancements that will relate to that, and potentially tying that into the riverfront with some additional enhancements as we look at the numbers and the pool of dollars that may be available as a part of that.
So we're optimistic that we'll put forward more of our original destination plan and compete against other communities in the Southern Indiana RDA for additional funding. That's not going to require more funding from the RDC because we're already layering it in with additional funding and leveraging, so it'll be incremental and very, very beneficial for us to just continue executing our Destination Madison plan.
Which will be great because it'll make our local investment less, but the leveraging amount for the RDA
And that's
higher.
what we're doing is we're doing capital stacking. I said the other day at a meeting, how do you take $1 million and turn it into 5 million or 10 million? And that's what we're doing with our public-private partnerships. And you've already seen where we had our original Destination Madison plan, and then we had some monies left over from our first two projects. And what we were able to do there then was leverage those dollars up and do 4 more projects: the HMI lot, Bicentennial Park, the Ohio Theater Partnership, the Heritage Trail, Hanover College, Madison Hanover Connector Trail, and then Super Overlook funding. So we were able to add 4 more projects into our Destination Madison plan. Now I think we can continue to further enhance Destination Madison planning with Ready 1.5. Makes us look good and position us really well. We have tremendous need for Ready 2.0, so we're already lobbying legislatures and supporting the additional appropriation at the state level for those fundings. The other thing I want to mention to you too, part and parcel to all of our destination planning, includes other infrastructure investments. Yesterday at Board of Public Works, we approved something that Tony had done a tremendous amount of research and recommendations on, which was enhancing our access to EV charging capacity in downtown Madison. So right now we have 2 EV chargers in our main parking lot on Main Street. We're going to be swapping them out. And then with our Gateway and Mulberry Street Arts Corridor, our lot behind the Comfort Station, and our new Bicentennial investments, we'll now have 7 EV chargers, adopting a pretty cool system called Amp Up, which will allow visitors coming into town searching for where do I park, where do I charge, and an application where they can go to that space and pay for the charging online. It'll be really cool. That was approved at Board of Public Works yesterday, along with a contract to move forward with the new Crystal Beach Aquatic Park construction, which we're making an announcement tonight at Crystal Beach, which is fantastic. And then lastly, I just want to mention on the neighborhood market, which is part of our Destination Madison planning. We hope that in March we will have a meeting to talk with you all about final plans for that.
I am going on vacation next week, so just to let you know.
So lots happening. We never rest when it comes to economic development because there's so much to do. And Tony needs the rest because he's been working a lot of long hours to bring literally probably 12 to 15 projects through this very complicated process of project management and bidding environment and permitting and funding sources, and it's like a giant game of whack-a-mole. But we're making tremendous progress on the plans that we started talking about, 3.5 years ago. And I'll stop there, but he also wants to make an announcement probably about Emily, don't you?
Yeah, I have 2 things. One, I'm excited to announce that Emily McKinney will be joining us February 23rd to take over Alyssa's role as the assistant director. Emily is a really dynamic young lady with a preservation degree, and is moving here to Madison. She chose Madison, and she interned this summer at the Madison Main Street program. So we're real excited to be able to give. Her mom went to Hanover College, and with her preservation degree, she found Madison, the Madison Main Street program, and she wants to stay. So we're bringing Emily on here in February. So we're excited about that. I'd also encourage you to, if you haven't yet, and Bob, feel free to put this in the paper, but the City of Madison Economic and Redevelopment has a LinkedIn page. We started that last summer. We're up to about 420 followers, so we'd love to get more of those. And so if you're not, follow us on LinkedIn at the City of Madison Economic and Redevelopment. So that's all I have tonight.
Thank you guys for all you're doing for Madison and all of our partnerships across the community. It's just been, this and next year are just gonna be phenomenal. I mean, last year was a great year. The year before that was a big planning year. But we're really seeing the dividend of all of our investment in time and money across the city. We had a record year in historic preservation last year too. Very proud of the results there. Our neighborhood revitalization initiatives are producing strong results, and couldn't be more pleased with the direction that city's heading.
Yeah, it's nice to see the projects moving forward and getting close to finalizing the funding and wrapping them up. I know it'll be a while before we wrap them up. But
Yep. Tonight we are announcing the Crystal Beach, pool replacement project plans and funding strategies. But we're also doing a limited reveal of the newly restored Crystal Beach Pool House. Our council meeting will be upstairs in the newly named
Hunter.
Frank Baldwin Hunter Hall. And so we're excited and just thrilled to make that announcement. It's just going to be a fantastic evening tonight. It's not a ribbon cutting, it's not a groundbreaking, but it is a limited reveal with more to come. We're just trying to build a little excitement.
go. Nice.
There you go.
Any other business?
None at this time.
Great, thanks for a great update. Their next meeting is the 7th of March, 3 p.m. There being no other business, could I get a motion to adjourn? Second? All in favor?
That's for JT.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.